Now we are going to talk about the four types of connectivity devices and their modem, hub, repeater and router. So let us have a look into each devices in detail. So first we will start with the modem. Now we all know modem works as modulator and demodulator. Now what is modulator and what is demodulator? Now we all know our computer understand only digital data, or you can say your computer can carry only digital data, whereas the telephone lines it can carry only analog data. Now suppose if I am connecting computer A with computer B via some telephone lines, then computer A will transfer a data in the form of binary data. The binary data will get passed along the telephone lines. But when the binary data will get passed along the telephone line will not understand the binary data. So it converts that binary data, or you can say your digital data, into analog data. So modem does that. So modem will convert the digital data into a binary data and it will pass to the computer B. Now when it will go to the computer B, again that analog data will get back transferred into digital data, and this process is called as demodulation. So that's why modem works as modulator and demodulator. Modem basically converts digital signals into analog signals, and at the destination again analog signal gets back converted into a digital signals. So this is the basic work of modem. Hub centralize the network means what? Suppose if I want to connect the node in the star topology, then those nodes don't get connected to each other directly. They get connected via hub. And whenever there is a need to send or receive the message, first they send message to the hub and then hub browses the data to the appropriate destination. So that is the basic use of hub. There are three types of hub. First, passive hub. A passive hub simply combines the signals of a network segment. There is no signal processing or regenerator. It merely acts as a connector. With a passive hub, each computer receives the signal sent from all the other computers connected to the hub. Second type of hub is active hub. There are like passive hub but have electronic components for regeneration and amplification of signals. By using active hub, the distance between devices can be increased. An active hub is equivalent to a multi-point repeater. The main drawback of active hub is that they amplifies noise as well as along with the signals. Third type is intelligent hub. In addition to signal regeneration, intelligent hub performs some other intelligence functions such as network management and intelligent path selection. Now the next connectivity device we have that is called as repeaters. The basic use of repeater is to regenerate the signal. Now whenever the signal passes along the wire, some parts of the signals get absorbed in the atmosphere. So when we pass a signal along the wire, we place a repeater in between. So what is repeater do? These repeaters basically regenerate the signals. They amplify the signal and they pass the signal to the appropriate direction. So a repeater reshapes and amplifies the signal from one network to another. Routers are network gateway. They move network packet from one network to another, and many can convert from one network protocol to another as necessary. Routers select the best path to route a message based on the destination address of the packets. Now we will see Ethernet. In many applications, a large number of computers are to be connected to each other. For this, the local area network was introduced. The most popular LAN is called Ethernet. The IEEE 802.3 standard its popularity is called as Ethernet. Ethernet is a way of connecting computers together in a LAN. It is the most widely used method for linking computers together in LAN. The basic idea behind its design to facilitate multiple computers to access it and send data anytime. Then, why it is called Ethernet? This system is called as Ethernet after the aluminiferous ether through which the electromagnetic radiation was once through to propagate. There are four types of Ethernet. First, traditional Ethernet. The traditional Ethernet is the oldest version of Ethernet created in 1976, which is designed to operate at the maximum data rate of 10 Mbps. Second type of Ethernet is fast Ethernet. Fast Ethernet is the protocol designed to work at higher data rates than the traditional ones. Typically, it can support data rates up to 100 Mbps. The traditional Ethernet can operate only up to 10 Mbps. Hence, for higher data rates, fast Ethernet has been developed. Third type, Gigabit Ethernet. The Gigabit Ethernet protocol has been designed in order to operate at data rates up to 1000 Mbps or 1 Gbps. Fourth type is 10 Gigabit Ethernet. The 10 Gigabit Ethernet protocol has been designed in order to operate at data rates up to 10 Gbps. A token ring system is as shown in figure. It consists of number of stations to the ring through a ring interface unit. The RUI is basically a repeater. Therefore, it regenerates the received data frames and sends them to the next station after some delay. As discussed in token bus system, here also the token. The token is passed from one station to the other. The sequence of token passing is dependent on the physical local of the station connected to the ring. It is not dependent on logical in case of token bus system. A station which is a possession of a token only can transmit its frames. It may transmit one or more data frames, but before the expiry of token holding time. Thus, every station gets a fixed time to transmit its data. Typically, this time is 10 milliseconds. After token holding time, the token frame must be handed over to some other station. Now see, there are three access methods which are widely used. They are contention, polling and token passing. Contention. Now in contention, any computer in a network can transmit at any time. So in this, suppose if systems are connected in a network and if I am going for a contention method, what they are saying, we can transmit a signal at any time. But if any computer can transmit a signal anytime, then what can happen? A system can break down. Because if suppose two computers or three computers are trying to send signal at the same time, then the signal may get collide with each other. And this possibility or this situation is called as collision. So, to avoid collision, we use two methods, and they are carrier sensing and carrier detection. So, first we will see what is carrier sensing. In the carrier sensing, each computer listens to a network before attempting to transmit. For an example, suppose I have four computers with me and computer A want to send data computer B or computer C. Then computer A first will listen to a network before transmitting. If the network is busy, then it will wait until the network quits down. So, if computer A want to send data to computer B or computer C, then first computer will wait until listen to the network. Now suppose if any other computer in the network, say computer D, if computer D is sending a data, then computer A has to wait till my computer D finishes its work. Now computer A will send the data, so there won't be any situation of collision. Next we have that is carrier detection. In the carrier detection, you have one or more computer can send the data at a time or one or more computer can send a signal at the same time. But what will happen here if any computer A or computer B both are sending the signals at the same time or both are suppose there are situation of collision occurs, then what both computers will do, both the computers will wait for the random amount of time and they will allow each other to send their data. Next, polling. In the polling method, there is a device. That device is called as master device. That master device in the polling, there is a device to polling other device on the network to see whether they are ready to either transmit or receiving the data. So basically in this system, what is happening? Your master device will poll the other device and your master device will see if any computer in the network is transmitted the data or not. If nobody transmitted the data, then it will allow the computer to transmit the data. Then next we have token passing. In token passing, token circulates around the network. Now suppose computer A want to send the data, then computer A has to wait till it receive the tokens. Once the computer A will receive the token, now computer A can transmit a data. So these are the various types of access methods.